Even without the knee, that should have been a knockdown. I thought I should have won a competitive fight. I think I did what I needed to do necessary to make the rounds. I'm just a little frustrated with the scorecards. I thought I should have won. Steve said fight out of the clinch. That's what we were going to do. He came in the back and was like, I'm going to let you fight out, especially if one arm is loose or whatever the case may be, as long as you're not holding and hitting.
Tank Davis and Lamont Roach have sparked an intense rivalry that now stretches beyond the boxing ring, fueled by the controversial outcome of their March 1st fight. Roach, who felt he was denied a rightful victory, was left frustrated with a majority draw decision against the Baltimore champion. While their battle started in the ring, it hasn't spilled over onto social media, where both fighters have been trading blows with words instead of fists. The battleground of Twitter, now known as X, has been filled with fiery exchanges, and the feud escalated even further during a heated Instagram live session. The confrontation grew so intense that both men ended up guaranteeing a rematch. However, this all came after Roach received shocking news from the New York State Athletic Commission, further adding fuel to the fire.
No, I'm gonna do me. I'm gonna do me regardless. I told him his mom and, the people home, but he still broke him. It's crazy, man. It's gonna get bad. It's gonna get bad, man. But, it's all love.
The New York State Athletic Commission has issued its final ruling on the knockdown controversy that overshadowed Gervonta Tank Davis's majority draw against Lamont Roach on March 1st. Davis managed to retain his WBA lightweight title at the Barclays Center in New York, with a fight ending in a deadlock. Two judges scored the bout 114 to 114, while a third had it 115 to 113 in favor of Davis. However, the most talked about moment came in the 9th round when Davis took a knee after absorbing a series of punches from Roach, sparking widespread debate over whether it should have been ruled a knockdown.
If I hit him with a little jab or whatever the case, that ain't nothing. Or if he hit me, or if I'm blocking a shot, I was like, too slow, or stuff like that.
Although referee Steve Willis initially began a count after Gervonta Davis took a knee, he abruptly stopped at 3. Davis had retreated to his corner, complaining about something in his eye. Instead of continuing the count, Willis allowed Davis to have his eye clean before restarting the fight, a decision that left fans frustrated and sparked controversy. Had the knockdown been officially recognized, Lamont Roach would have secured the victory. However, as reported by ESPN, the New York State Athletic Commission has upheld the original result, which ended in a majority draw. In its ruling, the commission stated that after an extensive review of the 9th round footage, the appropriate call would have been for the referee to rule that Davis's knee touching the canvas constituted a knockdown.
Did you bring your mother?
She right there. You didn't hear her ask, why the fuck was you leave me?
What?
I mean, that's just out her mouth, straight up.
What? What did you bring?
However, the commission emphasized that the determination of whether a knockdown occurred was ultimately within the referee's discretion and authority. It was also noted that if a knockdown had been officially called, there was no way to predict whether the final 3 rounds would have played out the same way. The New York State Athletic Commission further stated that instant replay technology was not functioning during the fight, which prevented a review of the moment in real time. Following the bout, Davis explained that he took a knee because grease from a hair treatment had burned his eyes.
Go.
What you mean, why I bring her? She love to see me whip ass. See? I mean, yeah, what you ain't too...
The boxing world expected fireworks when Gervonta Tank Davis and Lamont Roach Jr. stepped into the ring, but no one could have predicted the controversy that followed. Their WBA super featherweight title fight ended in a disputed draw, prompting Roach's team to appeal to the New York State Athletic Commission in hopes of overturning the decision. Despite acknowledging a referee's mistake in the 9th round, the commission ultimately ruled that the draw would stand. Frustrated by the outcome, Roach Jr. sees only one way to settle the score, getting Davis back in the ring. But how soon will that happen? According to his promoter, the rematch is nearly finalized, with just a few final steps left before it's official.
In my view, that I have to come with it all. I have to do more. Obviously, just to secure the win.
In a recent interview with Pro Books TV, Lamont Roach Jr.'s promoter, Gary Jonas, provided an encouraging update on the highly anticipated rematch. A clip shared by Thrill Boxing on Instagram captured Jonas stating that the rematch is very close and, in his mind, practically a done deal. However, He acknowledged that certain formalities still need to be finalized before anything becomes official. Jonas also hinted that fans might see a sharper, more aggressive version of Gervonta "Tank" Davis in the ring this time. Despite teasing retirement, the Baltimore-born fighter could return with renewed focus and intensity. He's probably going to be angry, more alert, and more determined than ever, Jonas remarked.
Just enough to get a draw. So I have to push harder. I have to train harder. I have to be more mean. I have to be more physical. I have to do a lot.
While Gervonta "Tank" Davis has remained tight-lipped about the details, Lamont Roach Jr. has been vocal about his desire for revenge. Frustrated with how the first fight unfolded, Roach recently took to social media to push for the rematch, even going so far as to bet $250,000 on the outcome. With Davis reportedly looking to settle the score by the end of May, anticipation is at an all-time high. The big question now is whether the champion will step up and right his wrongs, or if he'll deliver another performance that convinces the boxing world he's truly past his prime, a belief that's already gaining traction.
I have to do everything just a little more, and I think that will definitely put me over the hump, and I'm more than motivated to.
Gervonta tanked Davis's tendency for slow starts nearly cost him on Saturday night. His WBA lightweight title defense against Lamont Roach Jr. ended in a shocking majority draw, leaving the sold-out crowd of 19,250 at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn stunned, while Davis retained his championship. It was a fight he would likely prefer to forget. Two judges scored about 114 to 114, while a third had it 115 to 113 in Davis's favor. ESPN also had it 114 to 114. Lamont is a great fighter. Davis admitted after the match. He's got the skills, like I said before. He's got punching power. It was a lesson. Hopefully we can run it back. One of the night's most bizarre moments came in the 9th round when Davis unexpectedly took a knee after being touched by a jab. Referee Steve Willis, however, opted not to rule a knockdown in Roach's favor. Davis later claimed that grease from his hair had gotten into his eye, forcing him to take a knee. The fight resumed without penalty, but had the knockdown been scored, it could have changed the entire outcome in Roach's favor.
My own life, but I went back and I watched it, and shit, Tank lost that fight, period. And that's even without the knockdown, he lost.
Had the knockdown been officially called, Roach could have won the 9th round with a 10-8 score. Instead, two judges score at 10-9 in Davis's favor. "I just got my hair done 2 days ago, and she put grease in my hair," Davis explained. "When I was sweating, it got in my eyes and burned." While Roach didn't dispute Davis's explanation, he firmly believed that the rules should have been followed and that he deserved a knockdown. "If you take a knee and the ref starts counting, it should be a knockdown," Roach stated. "If that had been scored correctly, I win the fight. But I'm not relying on that call. I genuinely thought I did enough to pull it off."
The fight, yeah, just didn't do enough work. I thought that Roach's game plan was mad.
Davis entered the fight as a heavy favorite, with many expecting him to secure his 29th career knockout by stopping Roach, who was making his lightweight debut. Backed by a pro-Davis crowd, Tank was anticipated to deliver the kind of highlight reel finish fans have come to expect from the Baltimore native. However, Roach had other plans. Rather than crumbling under Davis's power, Roach stood his ground, absorbed the champion's hardest shots, and fired back with punches that stunned not only Davis but also the crowd in attendance. Known for his patient approach, Davis started slow, waiting for Roach to make a mistake he could exploit. But Roach never gave him that opening, instead dictating the pace and refusing to let Davis take control. While Davis initially smiled and talked trash early in the fight, he quickly realized Roach wasn't going to fold under the bright lights. Roach Jr., 29, had previously faced Davis in the amateurs but came up short. This time, however, he proved he belonged in the ring with the champion.
Let's start there, too. I feel like Lamont definitely won. All right, G. I feel like Lamont Roach won. I definitely feel like Lamont Roach won. But a draw, like...
As their careers took different paths in professional ranks, Davis became one of boxing's biggest stars, while Roach built a reputation as a solid fighter who had fallen short in his only previous world title shot. a 2019 loss to Jamal Herring for the WBO super featherweight belt. Davis's meteoric rise was cemented by his 2023 knockout victory over Ryan Garcia, a win that solidified his claim as the face of boxing. However, against Roach, he nearly let that status slip away with an unexpectedly lackluster performance. Their shared history may have led Davis to underestimate Roach, but Roach came into the fight fully prepared for everything the Baltimore champion had to offer, including his devastating knockout power. By the middle rounds, Davis's confidence and signature grin had faded as he realized that securing a stoppage would be far from easy. Forced to adjust, Davis began letting his hands go in search of openings, but Roach refused to back down, responding with sharp counters and crisp combinations. Davis focused his attack almost exclusively on Roach's body, delivering punishing shots, but Roach remained on the front foot, pressing forward without hesitation. Whenever Davis slowed his assault, Roach took advantage, sneaking in counters. In the 8th round, Roach stunned Davis with a well-timed right hand. Though Davis was never in serious trouble, the moment was a reminder that he couldn't afford to fight recklessly. I felt like I was breaking him down as the rounds went on, but he kept coming, so I didn't want to make any mistakes, Davis admitted. I kept it cautious. Sensing the fight slipping away, Davis, 30, turned up the pressure in the championship rounds. Though he landed some heavy power shots, he never came close to seriously hurting Roach. However, his increased activity in the closing moments earned him the final 2 rounds on all 3 judges' scorecards, salvaging a draw and allowing him to leave New York with his title intact. In an extremely measured performance, Davis landed 103 of 279 punches, while a more active Roach connected on 112 of 400 thrown.
It was a great event. Great event. It was a great fight. They put in a fantastic performance. Both of them did, for real.